Hey everyone, it's Adrian from I was going to say Adrian from the Crowning Moment podcast. I'm getting so confused. It's Adrian from the Pageant project, and I have Casey Gibson from the Crowning Moment podcast. Casey,
Hi,
how are you going?
everyone.
I understood you had a very long drive today.
I did, yeah. So I have been up since bright and early, 5 a.m. this morning. I had work and then I drove to the coast. So I'm actually in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina currently while we're filming this, and it is 9:30 p.m. now. So I am heavily caffeinated and ready to see what the Miss Earth girls have for us today. I'm excited about this.
So if you fall asleep during our live, do you want me to just remove you? Do you want me to shout at you? How are we going to handle this?
Just tell me to drink more caffeine. Just like get another drink.
I think I'm on my sixth coffee of the day. It has been one of those days already. Okay, so exciting. Thank you to, I will say, Laura Clark, who's the director of Miss Earth USA, for setting this up for myself. And then I spread the good word to Casey as it was. So she's here as well. We'll get straight into it. So I have the videos here. Now, just if you're watching this, understand that I have sped up the YouTube video to 125% speed just because we want to get through this in a relatively time-efficient time, also because I think we have 4 days of this consecutively. I think you'll be able to understand the girls perfectly, but just if you think they're speaking a bit quickly, it's probably because I've sped it up. Okay, now I've not really, I think like 3 of the videos, I just wanted to make sure it was working, but that's all. So I'll be reacting in real time. Casey, how many of these videos have you seen?
I think I got through maybe Canada was my last one, and then I wanted to save our live reactions. Same as you. I just want to make sure everything was working, everything was moving through. So super excited.
Okay, cool. And I will say I brought up the topic of recusing myself from judging people that I know. Got a score sheet here from Miss Earth. There's no one here that I really know, though. I will be interviewing the Dutch girl, so that's a girl from the Netherlands, but I haven't interviewed her yet. So I'm pretty comfortable that I'll be able to give a score for all of these. But all right, Casey, you ready? Should we get into it?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Right, here we go.
Here they are.
As a kid, I have always enjoyed dancing and being active. I started dancing in a very young age, and it was noticeable how much I enjoyed it. And my parents, being the supportive parents they are when it comes to my dreams and goals, they sent me in a ballet school, which really fulfilled my expressive side. Thanks to that, I traveled a lot and attended different festivals in a lot of countries, and was able to see and appreciate lots of new culture. But also, it taught me how to be hardworking, consistent, and determined. Because the number one thing a ballet school teaches you is discipline. At 14 years old, I started modeling in Albania at first, and then abroad, which really helped me learning and understanding different work ethics. This was a new chapter in my life that gave me the confidence to run after a dream that every little girl has and lives up to, being a part of Miss Cypria. The whole experience was extraordinary. On top of that, winning the title as Miss Cypria 2022 is something that I'm going to talk proudly about for the rest of my life, and I still remain stunned when I go back to that memory. Just as important, my experience in the Miss Globe had me feeling more confident and more sure of myself on stage. And now I'm Drita Ziri, Miss Earth Albania 2023. I can't get it over my head the fact that I will represent my country in Vietnam. I'm 18 years old and I started studying for tourism and events management. So I know I'm so prepared to represent Albania in this prestigious event, Miss Earth. As a young person, I dream of being able to experience in my lifetime the same natural beauties of Earth that my grandparents enjoyed. That is why I love what we're advocating about on Miss Earth.
So I'll just pause it for a sec because Casey and I have to actually give marks on these and then send them into Miss Earth. So Casey, do you have any feedback? I guess we should probably give some feedback or some comments on each video as we go.
Oh yeah, definitely. A few things that I noticed definitely from Albania was one, most of the videos were her, which I appreciate because sometimes when it comes to these videos, it's usually just stock images or stock video, but it was actually her. And then the other thing was she mentioned she competed in Miss Global, which as someone who competed in Miss Global USA, that's pretty cool to go ahead. So you know that she understands what it takes to be on an international stage. Some people may think that, you shouldn't bring up your past performances on stage, but I think it's a great thing to throw in there because it shows that you have credibility for actually being in competing at an international system already. So I thought that was cool to add in there.
Cool. My thoughts, I love the video. She's obviously a very pretty girl. I can see why she's a model, 18, very young. The only thing I would say, and I know there's going to be other videos about probably more about the country. I did like that there were videos of her, not stock images, although you have to, sometimes you just don't have a choice. But I would almost have liked to seen a little bit more footage of the country as well, maybe the country in the background. I think some of those were sort of more generic inside a building, and I don't know anything about Albania, so I'd like to see maybe a little bit more of that. But yeah, okay, so I've got the mark. You ready for the next one?
Let's do it.
All right, Argentina.
My name is Selena Bublitz. I come from the fertile land and breathtaking landscapes. I am Argentinian, the country of tango and custom cultures. I am 24 years old and I was born in the province of Corrientes. I was raised by my parents. I have 2 brothers. We have a very happy childhood. I have memories of wonderful afternoon full of game. I like to practice outdoor sport and I am a nature lover. I have always been a resilient person. I'm dedicated to beating and fulfilling my dreams. At 17, I started working as a teacher, model, and as a TV and radio host. Today, I am dedicated to the beauty of every woman in my business, where I also train in future persons. I also hire students to become part of my staff to give them their first job opportunity from their can only grow. I believe that we can enhance the natural beauty of women.
I'm empowered and from within. I love my land and I am proud it's my country.
I want to leave my mark transmitting on promoting love and respect. I want to live by example and inspire others to believe that every dream
can be accomplished. Nothing is impossible.
I have much more work to do. Our earth is asking for help, and every little action makes a big difference. I am Selena Bublitz, Mr. Argentina 2022.
Casey, thoughts?
Yeah, thoughts on that one. Definitely, I feel like for this person, I could tell exactly who they were in like a 30-second span. I could tell you what kind of job she does, what the country is like. She hit more on the culture of the country, which I appreciated. That's something that I think definitely just with the presentation of who you are and where you're from is very important for this part. Because one, as a judge, I want to know who you are. And I think she did a really well job of doing that, as well as what really your country is about and what it means to you. So I think she did really good on that.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I just want to give some technical feedback, guys, because I know a lot of you have to do intro videos, and there were subtitles in that one. When you guys are doing subtitles, you might want to put them on some sort of a background, or give them some drop shadow. I noticed that some of those subtitles were white and they were on white light, made it very hard to see. And I know this might get me in trouble, but please, guys, run your subtitles through a spell checker or something before you put them up. I have an eye for that. Now, I appreciate that not everyone does, and I definitely appreciate that I don't think she's a native English speaker, so I don't want to have a go at that because I can't speak another language. But just, I think it looks more professional if you get it right. So if English is not your first language, I'm sympathetic to that. Maybe just run it through a spell checker or chat GPT. And as I said, with those subtitles, if you're going to put them in, which I think is a very good idea, particularly if English is not your first language, just make sure they've got a bit of drop shadow behind them so they have contrast so we can actually see. Otherwise, we can't actually see the subtitles. So, all right. Now, Belize, I don't know, Casey, if you know, but 2 years ago, the winner of Miss Earth International, Destiny Wagner, was actually from Belize. So, expect good things from Belize. Let's have a look.
High standards.
Hello everyone, I'm Reina Cho, I'm 21 years old and I'm Miss Earth Belize 2023. I'm currently pursuing my bachelor's degree in biology at the University of Belize. But my story is more than just academics. It's about passion, purpose, and love for my beautiful homeland. I grew up as an only child most of my life on a ranch in Santa Elena, Belize. Surrounded by nature and domestic animals, I developed a profound connection to the outdoors and a deep love for our farm life. My journey into community service began in high school when I became a part of the Interact Club of Sacred Heart College. It was through this club that I had my first taste of volunteering, collaborating with the incredible folks at Oceana, an organization committed to marine conservation. It was an eye-opening experience, and I could not get enough of it. Since then, I've sought out every opportunity to learn more about my country and its incredible diversity. Every experience has been a stepping stone leading me to where I am today. But here's a dream that fuels me. I aspire to study veterinary medicine so that I can contribute directly to the welfare of injured wildlife in Belize. Our country is home to some of the most stunning and unique species, and they deserve our care and protection. I even envision establishing an organization of my own, dedicated to conducting extensive educational, research, and outreach programs in conservation and rehabilitation. I believe that every small step counts, and together, we can make a big difference. I'm ready to spread awareness of my country's biodiversity, and I encourage you all to protect our wildlife. Remember, this earth, Dr. Alawi.
Casey?
I was a
Keep
little
throwing to you
shocked.
first.
Yeah, I know you came to me first. I know. I was a little shocked. I felt like with it being such a beautiful country, she showed so many outdoor wildlife, and her being biology, I feel like she should have been outside, almost even on a patio or even somewhere outside, which it can be difficult. I understand when it comes to videography, but that was quite interesting. But that was also the first one. I mean, we've only seen 2 others that actually had a video made by. So it was like a sponsor was at the end, which I noticed. So, I mean, hey, you got to throw the sponsors where you can.
Certainly do, especially in pageantry. Yeah, I noticed the same thing, but maybe a slightly different take. I felt that she was I felt the delivery was a bit robotic. I like what she said, but it sounded like she was reading off a teleprompter. And look, nothing wrong, especially for an intro video if you do that. But I think the voice had to be a little bit more animated and a bit more excited, like a bit more inviting, is what I'm going to say. And look, I'm conscious that I don't have a very exciting voice, but I've been asked to judge, so I have to give some feedback. I have a very monotonal voice. I'm just saying, as someone who can appreciate that, you have to try and sound a little bit more animated to draw people in. Okay. Canada, here we go.
My name is Leanna Robinson. I am 21 years old and was born and raised in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. When I was 6 years old, my beautiful grandmother was granted full custody and welcomed me into her home with open arms. I was given the privilege to participate in various sports disciplines like soccer, baseball, skiing, track and field, and my favorite, ballet. At the young age of 11, I was accepted into Victoria Academy of Ballet's professional training program, where I won numerous awards and scholarships, and even danced with the Royal Winnipeg Ballet and the Alberta Ballet Company's annual Nutcracker production. Growing up, I had a very active imagination and enjoyed playing outdoors, getting my hands dirty. In my childhood years, I served as a scout leader for my local Girl Guides, where I fostered a connection to nature and the great outdoors. Graduating with a dual honors diploma in English and French, I am a second-year university student aspiring to become a dental hygienist. From a young age, I have always had a desire to use my skills for the greater, whether that be teaching ballet classes, working hands-on in women's shelters, restoring a mangrove nursery, to teaching environmental conservation in the classrooms of Hua Hin, Thailand. This journey as Miss Earth Canada has been incredibly rewarding in many aspects, and I look forward to continuing sharing my passions with our future eco-warriors and sharing the beauty and love that Canada has to offer.
I really like that one. I'll go first this time, Casey.
Yeah.
I thought she told a really good story. I thought she, in such a short video, she crammed a lot of who she was, and I thought who she was really impressive. And I really liked the fact that she put some photos of her actually doing the work, being a working queen, not just someone wearing a crown. So I would say that's probably my favorite so far. Your thoughts?
I agree. I think she definitely maxed out in all the areas that she needed to, telling us who she was, a little bit about her culture, as well as I really appreciated, I'm a small details person, her dresses matched each environment that she was in. So the red gown, which of course Canada's flag has red, she had the red
Yeah.
with it, being in whatever district she was, turning in the dress in the red dress, and then being in that almost like seafoam green coming out of the trees. That in my brain, the small details like that really just draws you in, because then she understands her environment. So I really appreciated that one. I think that one is so far absolutely my favorite.
I love the fact that you brought those details up because I never would have noticed that at all. So it's good that we're noticing different things. All right. So well done, Canada. And now moving on to the Czech Republic.
Hi everyone, my name is Kristina Pavlovičová and I am a Czech Miss Earth 2023. I was born in Strakonice, a small town in South Bohemia. I am proud to represent Czech Republic at Miss Earth. My childhood was literally fabulous and I am extremely grateful to my family for that. My family is the model of a perfect family for me. My parents have been together for 30 years and my older brother Daniel is the person I can't imagine live without. I spent my childhood mostly in the village with my grandmother and grandfather. I fed the chickens, picked mushrooms, walked the dogs, cuddled the kittens. My grandfather drove me on a tractor and my grandmother liked to spend time with us in the meadow. I was surrounded by loving people, animals, and nature, and my love for them remains to this day. I'm studying business economics, and although combining school, work, and preparing for Miss Earth was challenging, but it's one of challenges I'm happy for. Actually, my entire field of study is a bit of challenge because it involves important mathematics, which I have never been good at. But I'm a fighter, and that is probably why I decided to study something that is difficult for me. My passion is singing, dancing, caring for animals and nature. By the way, this is how Muffin, a cat I rescued when he was 3 weeks old, studies with me. And for 3 years now he is the only one who can handle my swearing while learning. I couldn't live without my family and animals because they give me energy. Life surrounded by beautiful nature is colorful and like a fairy tale. And my goal is to show how amazing your life can be with nature.
I just wish she had used, I know this is picky, a smaller mic. I just saw when mounted there. I mean, as a content creator, that's just where my eyes are like, oh, I know you have to have a mic, but could you make it a bit smaller? I thought she spoke pretty well. Certainly seems to have done a lot. I would have maybe just preferred it to be a little bit more storytelling rather than sort of listing stuff off. But I mean, you know, I did love the tractor footage, so it's definitely a woman of the earth, so to speak. Casey, to you.
The only things that kind of like scared me, one was the immediate music change from Canada to Czech Republic. I thought I was jumping straight into like an IMAX super action-packed movie, but I loved it. She videographed very well. She looked fantastic on camera. Like that was a 10 out of 10. Like she will kill any sort of on-camera stuff. Like she's got that. The only thing that I'm just one of those people that you always, you know, promote your good things. She talked a few things about like her negatives of like, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. And I always just say, like, even going into an interview with someone, be careful of talking about all of these things you're not good at and definitely capitalize on the things you are good at. And so like I like the parts where she talked about how, you know, I'm good at dance and ballet and like all sorts of different activities and like being able to be a working woman of nature. That's what I think she needed to hone in on just a little bit more. But other than that, she looked fantastic the entire video. Yes, the mic. That the first time I saw it, I was like, no, not the big, not the big fluff mic. I was like, no. But all in all, I think she did fantastic.
Guys watching this, if you don't know, both Casey and I work with a lot of the same equipment. It's like content creation, obviously. So we have an eye for certain things that maybe some other judges don't. But yeah, if you can use a smaller mic, obviously it's better. But at the same time, you make do with what you have. So, all right, let's move on to Denmark.
My name is Sylvia Tapham, and I'm Miss Earth Denmark 2023. I grew up in a house a little north of Copenhagen with my parents and my younger brother. I've always been incredibly close with my family, and they are the most important thing in the world to me. My dad always took me on new adventures, such as scuba diving, surfing, or ziplining. My mom has always been my biggest cheerleader. She really is my best friend. And my brother is only a year younger than me, so I've done everything with him growing up. As a family, we've traveled extensively, allowing me to have visited 35 different countries across the world. I absolutely love experiencing different places and cultures, as well as meeting new people, and that's why traveling is such a passion of mine. On the daily, I'm a third-year medical student at the University of Copenhagen. I've always loved school, particularly science class, and growing up, I often spend my free time at the school library reading about astronomy and biology. That makes the medical field the perfect field for me, as it combines my love for science with my love for interacting with people and learning new things. When I need to unwind, I like to play the piano, the violin, or dance and cook. It's some of my absolute favorite activities to do. I'm always very kind and respectful, no matter a person's ethnicity, culture, religious, or political beliefs. This is a very core Danish value, and it's one of the things that makes me so proud to represent Denmark at Miss Earth 2023.
Did you notice the wind farm in the background? That was
I did not.
there were two. I assume they're wind farms, like turbines in the background. That's good product placement for Miss Earth. Again, she had the bigger mic, but she was on a windy beach. I didn't notice it as this much, and I don't want to harp on that again. But she's a very impressive woman. Full disclosure, I actually reached out to her to interview, but she was too busy. But if you can be a medical student and still have time to be doing a pageant, like props off to you. You certainly have time management down pat. But Casey, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think that she covered everything perfectly, from who she is, what her passions are. I like when they go into a little detail of like their family background, of like what the dynamic is, where they came from. And you could tell it was definitely a multicultural family. So that was cool that you got to see like her dad and her mom. And then having a younger brother, that's always nice that you get to talk about like your sibling relationship, as well as showing off what her country looks like. And then I do like that I always listen to where they actually go to school and like, do they actually live in the country they're going for? So that's my favorite thing to hear, that she was going to school in Copenhagen. And yeah, being a medical student and doing this, pageantry is already tough on its own. Throwing scholastics into it, just, oh my goodness, I can only imagine. But I really liked her a lot. She seems very wholesome, very well-rounded.
All right, France coming up next. Every time I just see France in pageantry now, all I can think of is Miss Universe saying France, and it's just, you know, that France.
The France, yeah.
Hopefully it's not going to be that case here. But here we go. Here's France.
Bonjour, I'm Minola Godard, your Miss Earth France 2023. I was blessed to grow up in a place surrounded by the wonders of nature, nestled between the majestic mountains and the serene ocean near the Pyrenees. These years were a treasure trove of happiness and inspiration. With my cousins by my side, we had the chance to ski together as a family near the Pic du Midi in this splendid region. My mother, a source of wisdom and guidance, played a pivotal role in shaping my values. She instilled in me not only a deep respect for people, but also a profound reverence for our planet. Throughout the journey, my thirst for knowledge led me to excel in school, where I found joy in sharing what I learned. Currently, I'm pursuing a dual degree in International Affairs, Finance, and Strategy between Sciences Po Toulouse and Toulouse Business School. This academic path has not only enriched my understanding of global issues, but also deepened my commitment to environmental protection. It was during this academic pursuit that I received the remarkable news of being selected to represent France in the Miss Earth competition. The moment was nothing short of incredible. The profound sense of honor and responsibility that engulfed me defies description. I immediately recognized this as a golden opportunity to effect real change on environmental matters that lie close to my heart. Today, as a Miss Earth delegate and woman of the Earth, I am more than an environmental enthusiast. I am a guardian of our planet's beauty and its future. My journey has been shaped by my respect for nature, love of learning, and a burning desire to make a positive impact. Together, let's embark on this journey to create a greener, a cleaner, and a more sustainable future for all.
Casey, you want to take that one first?
Yeah, I really enjoyed her speech. That was the first one I actually started paying attention to the subtitles at the bottom. And what a very well written. And I wonder, like with France, because I know they do like a collaborated pageant where one goes to Universe, one goes somewhere else. I wonder how she was selected, because she did say that she was selected to represent France.
Yeah.
So did she compete in a competition, or did she have to do like a write-in? I wonder what that process looked like. I wish that's something that because being from the US, we do things a little bit differently than normal place. Like you have to compete in things. Like it's a competition always. We're so competitive here. But in other countries where they don't have the finances to have all of the competitions, I wonder what that process to get to Miss Earth looked like for France.
Yeah, I know. I think we discussed this before. Like South Africa, for example, has a competition where they have it's Universe. I know it's Universe World, and I think maybe International or Earth has 3 pageants in one. So that's a thing in South Africa. I thought that was a good video. I just would have liked a little bit more detail. Like when she said that she'd like to advocate for a greener Earth, I would have just like a bit more detail specifically as to what her environmental advocacy is, like why she's passionate about it. But aside from that, yeah, I thought it was a solid video. So, okay, who's next? Also, by the way, she was speaking quickly, but remember, this is 125% speed. That was the first one I thought, oh, she's speaking a bit quickly.
Priyan,
India.
the one who is loved by all. Namaste. I am Priyan Sen from the land of diversity, India. I grew up believing that people are multifaceted beings, which made me a trained dancer, an athlete, and a beauty queen all at the same time, as I learned to serve and save people in medical school. Nature was my foster family and only companion, as I was raised by a young and dynamic single mother. Always fascinated by mythology, I grew to love the bird of transformation, Phoenix. Burning up in fire only to rise from the ashes as a brand new version of yourself was something that I resonated with my soul. In our country, nature is worshipped with all 4 elements: fire with passion, water with fluidity, air for balance, and earth with groundedness. My passion for life and my fiery personality comes from the element of fire. Like fire, I love to bring light to people's lives and see them shine bright. After growing up as a tomboy, I finally learned to embrace my femininity. Femininity, fluid like nature, daughter of Venus, calm and yet dangerously powerful like ocean. Learning the value of balance and justice is something that my heart craved since childhood. Like the element of air, I stay swift on my feet and balance, work, and play with all forms. With the element of earth, I know the importance of knowing my roots and where you come from. From growing up in a small town to being a national winner, I've kept myself grounded no matter what. This is what makes me Priyan Sen. Priyan, a woman of the earth.
My name.
Med student. I like what she mentioned. I think foster families and being brought up by a single mother. I love it when even just with one word you can find out a lot about a girl. And like if you were interviewing her, for example, that's a really interesting facet that you could go into. The only feedback I'd have with the footage is I just wish that there'd been a little bit more variety. I feel like there was one shot dressed in that pink dress under a tree, and I think like 60-70% of the footage was just from that one shot. So maybe a bit more variety. I mean, India is a huge country with a huge diversity of what you can look at. So that'd be my only feedback. Casey?
Yeah, the only thing that I saw that was different for everyone else's is that she broke down earth, like air,
that was
wind,
clever.
fire,
Yeah.
which I think was air, wind, fire, all of the different elements, which is something that nobody else had done. So I give her some good bonuses there because that was a good idea to really break into showing that she is of all elements. She's not just one specific. You know what I'm saying? Like it just gave a very good variety of what she is with the elements of the Miss Earth platform.
Well, it shows that she has an awareness of how Miss Earth works, which is always something as a director you'd want to see, is that the girl actually knows what she's entering into. So it's earth, air, water, and fire. And then I know USA has eco. I don't know if international has that. But yeah, I thought, isn't that the name of an old band? Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Earth, Wind, and Fire. Yes.
You had just started talking about bands for a second. All right. So well done, India. Moving on to Ireland.
My name is Leila Doherty, your Miss Earth Ireland 2023, and I am so extremely proud to represent the beautiful island of Ireland. I'm 22 years old, and I'm from a small picturesque village called Ballyliffin, situated on the Malahide Peninsula, County Donegal. I'm a gap year student, and I'm hoping to study accounting when I return to college. I love maths and science, and I have previously studied pharmaceutical and medicinal science. I am also from a farming background, which means I have spent a lot of time helping out and caring for the animals. And growing up in Ireland also means that I have always had the privilege to be surrounded by Irish wildlife. I am also a freelance model. However, this isn't my career aspiration. It's something that I'm very grateful to be able to do, but it's just a bit of fun and has opened many doors for me. I work at Maple Valley Liffin, which is the local shop, and in my free time I'm determined to advocate for the migrant crisis, which affects my county and community. From a very young age, I have always loved theatre and drama and was a very outgoing, confident child. To this day, I still practice public speaking, and in my role as Miss Earth Ireland, I'm delighted to be able to put it to use. I've had an amazing life here in Ireland, having grown up surrounded by the most beautiful landscapes with so many places to explore near home. I get to experience the beautiful scenery in my everyday life. I have 2 loving parents, and I'm the eldest of 4. I have a sister called Chola and 2 brothers called Piers and Henry. We also have a family dog called Patch. I am a very determined person who is willing to give my all to the Miss Earth title. I absolutely adore the adrenaline rush that I get from being on stage. There's just no feeling like it. In my time as Miss Earth Ireland, I hope to make the people of Inishowen proud and be a voice for them with a spectacular platform. It has been a dream of mine to compete at Miss Earth for quite some time now, and this is a pageant system that really falls in line with my values. To advocate for conservation and sustainability is to advocate for the future of the generations to come, and to really make a difference. I can't wait to experience this with you all, and it is an absolute privilege to be a part of the Miss Earth family. Thank you for listening.
Hello.
Casey, how'd you go with that accent?
I got through it. The only thing I was being driven crazy was it was the red jacket, the blue jacket. It was the same clip from the same day that was just spliced up. And there's so much in Ireland. I'm like the amount of castles and different things that are there that in my brain I was already thinking, I'm like, if I were to have to do a country video, where would I start? What would I want? Like I would do hotspots, and I would take, a couple months to make this video, and I would do it strategically to show, like I traveled to this one because traveling is not cheap, but sometimes in these other countries it's easier to get around. But I would definitely do hotspot cities or hotspot places that are big tourist areas, and I would, get my mom, my dad, whoever I can bring with a nice camera, and I would break it up just so I could have good content of all of what that country has to show. And so I think that's something that for any of these, some of them have already done a really good job of that, but just showing more of the country, not just the one small town that you're from. It's great to be from a small town. I'm from a 3 stoplight town, but I promise I'm not showing that. I'm showing what all of my state has to offer, not just my one town. So I think just diversifying your content from what the whole country, because you are representing the entire country of wherever you're from.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. There was one shot in particular where she was the house in the background and she's walking across the street. And I get that you want to show like a small Irish town, but I thought like it was like 15 seconds worth of footage of her walking across the street. And I just wish you could have taken that, because you don't have long for these intro videos. Let's take 10 seconds of that and show something else. And I noticed that the red jacket, it was quite prominent. So if I'm noticing it, probably you want a bit of a change of outfit. I understand Ireland doesn't get much sun, so maybe you don't want to be wearing a dress. But I did like the small hometown feel though, and I do love Ireland, so I'm probably a little bit partial to that. Okay, going on to Japan. I also will say, Casey, I have no idea why these countries are in one group. So we've gone from Albania to India, Ireland, and now Japan. I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason behind that. Are you picking up a pattern?
No, I think maybe like every 3 they split it up or something. I have no idea. Very random.
Okay, all right, here's Japan.
I'm Kirari Oshiro, Miss Earth Japan 2023. I'm from Okinawa, a tropical island located in the southern part of Japan. Protecting and spreading the beauty of Okinawan nature is one of my passions. Since I was a child, I have loved spending time at the beaches. Whether snorkeling in the crystal clear waters, having a BBQ party with my family and friends, or just sitting on the bench at the beaches, it all made me happy. The vibrant marine life and stunning coral reefs were my playground. I was always excited about finding new creatures under the water as if I were a part of their world. I was a curious, active child who liked laughing a lot. Thanks to the warm support by my family, I could challenge everything I wanted. From swimming, track and field, chorus, calligraphy, piano, hula, and handball, you name it. I have 3 older sisters and admire them all. While my parents were working, my sisters were taking care of me. My dream is to be a Japanese teacher abroad who can contribute appealing the importance of preserving Okinawan beautiful nature and culture. Our nature is the best teacher we can learn. From the rich nature, we can feel that we all are truly connecting one another. By sharing its beauty from Okinawa, Japan, I wish to raise awareness to the whole globe.
How do you feel about the use of like photos and potentially a lot of stock footage and not having her actually on camera for like 90% of that?
I was gonna say that was my one con of the video was that I didn't get to see her a lot, and then the little kid picture popped up, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, maybe this is it." But that was the only thing that really bothered me the most was it was a lot of if she were to be an element, she would definitely be water because you could tell
Mm.
like that was her thing, like that she really appreciated the like underwater kind of scenery that she showed 90% of the video. But I think that seeing more of her in the beginning would have brought you in to
Yeah.
who she was sooner. Like I would have
Yeah.
flipped it and done about her in the beginning and then done what she's passionate about at the end. I'd been happy with that. But yeah, I definitely pictures I'm okay with, but I like seeing video. I like seeing you actually interacting
Yeah.
with your environment. I think that just brings you more into the content rather than
Yeah,
just kind of
100%.
seeing a picture from maybe 10 years ago. It's not anything recent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is a video, so you probably want
Yeah.
to use video rather than making a slideshow.
Truly.
The technical thing again, I know I'm going to drive some people crazy, but if you're watching this and you want my feedback on technicalities, if you just heard when she was speaking, there was a little bit of air noise or wind noise in the background, and then someone has cut that off, and then there was dead silence, and then when she's speaking again, you can hear it's like a fan or the wind or an air conditioner. So if you're going to learn editing yourself or you have an editor, they should be removing that background sound from when you're speaking, and so it's not just. I'm not going to say it's jarring. I notice it because of what I do. Casey probably did as well, and I know it's nitpicking, but if you want to take that video and just make it that 1% better, that's a technical feedback that I would give. Okay, Kenya.
Hello world, my name is Abigail Kombo and I represent the country rich in culture and heritage, Kenya. My childhood memories are the best part of my life. I really enjoyed it because I was carefree, stress-free, and I learned new things and got a lot of love and memories with the family. One of the fond memories of my childhood that I will always remember with nostalgia was visiting my grandparents over Christmas holidays and sharing Christmas dinner with lots of love and laughter in the room. I also grew up in the country's coastal region and really enjoyed going to the beach with my family on the weekends just to unwind and enjoy the fresh ocean breeze. I come from a family of 5, that is me, my 2 siblings who are boys, plus my mom and dad. I was an only child for a long time and I grew up with all the attention and I was spoiled as well. My parents instilled strong values in me as I was growing up. They taught me to be a person of integrity, honest, and to respect others. My hobbies include cooking, traveling, and doing charity work. Another amazing fact about me is I love to sing, and I'm really hoping to use the Miss Art platform to share my voice to the world.
Hello, everyone.
What do you think about that one?
It almost felt a little bit rushed. I was trying to grab. She gave me like we weren't scuba diving her information. We were just snorkeling the surface of what she was giving us. So it was very surface level, and I wanted to get to know you just a layer deeper. And so I mean, I appreciate hearing things she likes to do, like spending Christmas with her grandparents, being able to visit. She was on the coastal side. Like I got the highlighted high key points. but I didn't get anything in between. I did like that she had her sash on. I just like seeing that they're actually wearing, they're proud of the name that goes across their chest. That to me just means a lot, especially like wearing the crown. But I really wish we could have had a little bit more personal detail. And I think the music was a little too loud to where I couldn't get a lot of her detail. That was about it.
I did put up a post earlier today about music, and guys, when you're making a video, you have to be very careful that the music is not too loud, because we're not there to listen to the music, we're there to hear what you say. The thing, it's funny how we notice completely different things. The first thing that I noticed was how friendly she looked. Like, she opened with a really nice smile, which for some reason I just found really refreshing, because she looked really friendly, which is nice. And then I did like the story that she told about herself. Like, it's more the background. Certainly could have gone into more specifics, as you said. And yeah, the music, I did like at least how she ducked it when she was speaking, so that at least you could hear when she was talking. Okay. Again, I don't know how these countries are attached, but moving on to Mexico next. Here we go.
Everybody, I'm Daniela Landin. I was born in the state of Aguascalientes, Central Mexico. I am a mechatronics engineer, and I currently work in the automotive industry as export shipping supervisor. I really like my job, and I'm lucky to be in an area that I'm passionate about, because it doesn't feel like a job. I really enjoy being there. My family is made up of my mom, my dad, my older brother, my younger sister, and we all love to play basketball. My biggest hobby has been to play basketball. I have been playing this sport since I was 9 years old, and with my team, we become national champions. This sport allowed me to play it at a semi-professional level, representing my state. Practicing sport helped me to understand that constant work brings you positive results. It taught me about responsibility, teamwork, discipline, perseverance, a healthy competition, among many other values. On another occasion, I had the opportunity to represent Aguascalientes women, crowning me as the Princess of the San Marcos National Fair, which is currently worldwide recognized and listed as the biggest fair in Latin America. This experience made me realize everything behind a beauty contest and the impact that you can really have on society, being spokespersons to positive changes for the development of humanity.
I grew up.
All right, so there was like a bird sound at the beginning or something like that. And in any other video, I would have thought you should have cut that out. But because it's Earth, I actually found it quite thematic, because it's like the only, and I love the story, like mechatronic engineers. That's similar to yourself, isn't it?
I guess I had never heard that before. I guess, is that mechanical engineering? Is that what it
No,
is?
mechatronic is like robots. It's one of the things
Oh,
that was
okay,
an option
robotic.
when I was studying.
Interesting. I had never really heard of that before. I guess it's just another one of the engineers, but yeah, similar.
Yeah, I just like the fact whenever a young woman goes into a male-dominated field, I just feel like that's a cool story there. But yeah, the only feedback I'd give that I would really have liked to see. I thought she spoke very well, but I would have liked to see more footage of the country itself. I don't think we needed to see the footage of her all the time, to just keep the audio in the background, and then obviously shoot in on her, zoom in on her every now and then. But I would have liked to see a little bit more footage of Mexico. So, Casey, anything to add?
The only thing I would add to it is just, it's a nitpicky thing, because I'm someone who does edit a lot of footage. I could tell when they were cutting, they would do a flash across the screen that was almost jarring. Like, did
Yeah.
something happen with the screen? Because I had to like look twice. If you if you look at the footage of me, I'm like blinking hard, like what happened? That's the only thing that kind of bothered me. But I did appreciate that she threw in a little bit about how she was like a princess of the fairs, which is such a big thing in Latin America. So that was really cool that she threw that in, because that's a huge honor to have one of those things in Latin America, is just like being a part of their fairs and festivals. So that was cool that she threw that in there. I wish she would have dived in just a little bit more personally. Like, they would have shown more content of the family. I appreciated her throwing in her sports of doing basketball and being able to be a national, she said nationally ranked or national winner, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I think just a little bit more personal detail of like kind of why she chose Earth or why she's a part of it would have been cool to add in there as well. But I thought she looked beautiful. I liked how it was staged. I would have started on her and then definitely rolled into different content of Mexico.
Yeah. As a video editor, where do you stand on transitions? Do you just make clean cuts? Do you use flashes? Do you use dissolves? Like, what's your cut of choice?
I'm not currently Pageant is we always laugh about doing fake transition, but when I'm editing my stuff, I like to do a little bit of the zooms. if I could somewhere where I'm speaking, I don't want to chop it in my head. It's all the way over here now. So I do like a slight zoom in just so it's not as jarring that I've had to cut the video. Sometimes I'll do like a fade to white and come back into a video, but usually I like my zoom. It just looks cleaner, a little bit better. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, moving on to Netherlands.
Up in the province of Overijssel with my family and my little sister Brit. I also have 2 dogs named Willem and Jimmy. From a young age, I was fortunate to be raised in a family that valued hard work and environmental stewardship. My parents instilled in me the importance of dedication and taking care of our planet. These principles, passed down through generations, have shaped me into the person I am today. But our family's connection to the environment was equally found. We lived near a majestic forest and it became our second home. It was within the towering trees that I learned the wonders of nature. In the past, I owned my own horse and loved to compete in horse riding competitions. My horse was called Special because she was so special to me. We competed in many competitions together. I had her since I was 10, so I really grew up with her. Gymnastics was also a youth passion of mine. I became first in the Netherlands in my division a few times. As a 9-year-old girl, I trained with 16-year-olds. That made it extra special. Now, let me take you to the Netherlands, a country known for its unique relationship with nature. Did you know that more than a quarter of the Netherlands lies below sea level? It's a country that has had to battle the forces of nature for centuries. Through ingenious engineering, the Dutch have built a vast system of dikes, canals and windmills to reclaim land from the sea, demonstrating their unwavering commitment to hard work and environmental stewardship. And speaking of forests, the Netherlands is home to some beautiful woodlands, like the Hoge Veluwe National Park. This lush oasis of biodiversity showcases the Dutch dedication to preserving natural beauty and providing sanctuary for countless species. As Miss Earth Netherlands, I can teach others the importance of our Earth. My family has taught me so much, and they are the main reason why the title Miss Earth is such an amazing fit for me. I want to pass on all the things I have learned and be an inspiration for others.
You want to take this one first?
I think this one's my new favorite. That checked every box for me. My favorite part was, let me take you to the Netherlands. That was my whole favorite part. I'm like, I'm in it. I'm smiling. I'm excited to see what the country had to offer, as well as showing what the country does for its ecotourism part of its world. So like, that's the nice part that she actually threw in for Earth and showed exactly what they're doing and how they're giving back as a country. So I thoroughly enjoyed this video. I think that was my favorite so far.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we can agree on that. Funny if that I loved it and you go, no, that was terrible. Yeah, I think with that he actually said, let me take you to the Netherlands. I thought that was a really smart, I don't know if that was how conscious that was, but it almost got you ready to learn about the country, whereas before we were learning about her. And I think she spoke really well. Very interesting that as a 9-year-old gymnast competing against 16-year-olds, that tells you a lot about a person to do that. And I do love the Dutch accent. It's just a very, very unique accent. Have you ever been to the Netherlands?
No, I have not been to the Netherlands. I've been to France, I've been to Portugal, I've been to Spain, but never the Netherlands. That's on the list, though.
Okay. All right. Now, this is close to home for me, but not quite. So it's New Zealand. Here we go.
My country has 2 names. Worldwide, it's known as New Zealand, but here at home, we call it Aotearoa, translated to the land of the long white cloud. In Aotearoa, we introduce ourselves with our pepeha. Every New Zealander is connected to a mountain and a river. A pepeha is where we tell others which mountain we belong to, which river or lake has sustained you and your family throughout your childhood, and lastly, your family name, which tells us your family's history, what tribe, nation, or people helped raise you. Ko Caitlin tuku ingoa, ko Momo Kai tuku Maunga, ko Muhaka tuku Awa, ko Ngatika Hununu Iwi, and Rekohu, Chatham Islands tuku Imi. To understand who I am, I think of the faces of the people who raised me and try to be the best version of them. I believe this is what makes me who I am and what formed my everyday values. Mum's resilience, Dad's kindness, and my Nana's faith and humility. One of my most treasured gifts is the gift of being a New Zealander, a Māori, a Moriori, a Kiwi European with mixed Welsh, Irish, English, and Tongan ancestors who all voyaged to be here. Outside my bloodline, I also believe in self-made discovery, where the extraordinary is in what you do. I obtained my Bachelor of Arts, majoring in English, Film, and Television. I recently completed my postgraduate diploma and am currently working towards my master's in the same field. I am a passionate dancer, trained in ballet for over 10 years. I joined Saints Dance Academy, a hip-hop crew, and now a proud member of LH Combined, where I learn the art of Kwan and of our wider dance community. I am a classical musician, I play the viola, and I performed for the University of Auckland Chamber Orchestra. I am also a model. During my time as a teacher's learning assistant, my students were my ultimate enthusiasts. These kids planted the idea of me becoming a model. Ironic how it's the youth inspiring the adults. Because of them, I decided that the type of model I wanted to be was a role model. I am now the current holder to Miss Earth New Zealand 2023. New Zealand, serving you is my purpose. I look forward to adding to the strong legacy of the Miss Earth New Zealand platform. I promise to use this platform to give back to the country that has given me so much.
Casey, can I just ask, did you understand why she started speaking another language in the middle of the video?
No.
Okay.
Was it like a native?
Yeah, I bring that up because I just wanted to make sure that I hadn't missed it. So New Zealand is famous for being very proud of its native people, the Maori, and a lot of them are almost duolingual. They can speak the Maori language, and even when I met some here in Australia, they would always greet me with kia ora, which is a greeting in Maori. And I thought that was really important because they are very proud of it. But a couple of things that I don't think she told people why she switched to that language, which is why I wanted to ask you, because otherwise you're just like, why are you suddenly speaking another language? And then the subtitles underneath, again, parking on this, there wasn't a drop shadow, so I couldn't actually read some of it. But I loved the video. I just wish she would have explained why she's speaking another language. And I probably would have opened with her rather than the footage, rather than opening with footage of the place. But yeah, that's my feedback. Yourself?
Yeah, no, now that you've explained that, it helps a lot with understanding because out of nowhere, I'm like, okay, trying to listen in of, okay, what language is that? I had never heard it before. And I'm learning so many new things about all these different cultures, especially New Zealand. Now that I know you from Australia, I've learned just so many new things about that side of the world that I didn't know before. So that's pretty cool. And I like that she did throw in her heritage, her background. That is something that I do appreciate because that is something that they are very passionate about. So I appreciate she threw that in there. Definitely a little bit of acknowledgement of why would have been nice to know. And again, with the words, I started like squinting. I'm like, okay, what do the words say? Because I have no idea what she was saying. But I do think that I really like how in the end she added how she wanted to add on to the New Zealand culture. A lot of these people are a lot of the contestants, candidates, delegates are throwing in a lot about how they're really passionate about their country. And I think definitely something that's very big, that's very important, but also they're going for the title of Miss Earth. And so I think not forgetting the bigger title at hand that you are going into, that you are competing for, that you are vying for, is a huge part that I would make sure to throw in your videos, is like making sure that you're actually telling the story of why you want to be Miss Earth and why being, Miss such and such has made you prepared to take on that role.
Yeah. Do you think you could tell the difference at this stage between a New Zealander accent and an Australian accent?
Maybe a little bit. You have like a higher pitched twang. Theirs is different. It's a different twang. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a different twang.
It's I can immediately tell when someone's got the Kiwi accent, but obviously I'm a lot closer to them than you are. And I've been told many times that I don't actually sound Australian. When I'm in the States, everyone thinks I'm British. So I don't know if I'm a good comparison point. Apparently, I enunciate my syllables too much and speak too properly to be Australian. But yeah, if you're watching, I see a bunch of you watching, you can let me know in the comments whether you first thought I was Australian or British. Doesn't count if you're from Australia, obviously. Okay, so moving on to Norway.
Hello, my name is Emilie Svending, and I am today's Miss Earth Norway 2023. I am 20 years old, and I work as a model and a care worker at a nursing home and have been for 4 years now. I grew up in a small town called Brumunddal. It's located on the east coast of Norway, and it's known for the biggest tree hotel and its camping tourism. My family raised me to love the nature, as we spent most of our time outdoors in tents, on long hikes, and picking berries. I am so proud of Norway because of its stunning natural beauty, its rich history, and strong commitment to sustainability. It's known for its welfare system, high standard of living, and its role as a peacemaker in international conflicts. Norway is committed to sustainable development by promoting renewable energy, implementing strict environmental regulations, and we also support eco-friendly practices. My environmental advocacy is sustainable development because it's crucial for preserving our planet and ensuring a healthy and sustainable future for the next generations. Besides my advocacy, I also work a lot on women's health, mostly because I believe women deserve a bigger priority in both Norway and the whole world. This year, I chose to represent the beautiful tree, Norway spruce. The tree is important because of its valuable timber tree and it provides a habitat for wildlife. Norway spruce is also commonly used in the Christmas tree industry due to its attractive appearance and ability to retain needles for such a long time. Today, I'm working towards a brighter and a greener future, and I envision my country to be a beacon of sustainable development where the stunning natural beauty is preserved and the commitment to sustainability is strengthened. Thank you so much.
The first thing that struck me was the vertical. I don't know if that was on the Earth side, that was what's to blame, so-called, for that. But I found, like, if you've got a horizontal aspect, then we can see more of what's happening. Aside from that, I don't know, Casey, if you know, the girls this year for Earth are picking a tree for each of their countries. That's why she was talking about her tree. I don't know if she was supposed to speak about this one. I don't know if there'll be a separate video, but that's why she was specifically talking, I believe, about Norwegian spruce. So each country has to pick a tree that, you know, represents their country, so to speak. I thought the video was pretty good. The vertical aspect, so it's small and we can't see much. That was the only quibble that I had. Casey?
I thought it was crazy for just a moment when I realized, I was like, I think the person before her's video was a full screen. So that was one of my thoughts too.
Okay.
The other thing was I actually quite enjoyed being able to hear more about the country and her initiative right off the bat. She was showing, recycling, putting or planting going on, and the content where it looks video. It seemed very genuine that she was out there actually making a better Earth in her own country. So I really liked that. That was quite nice. I enjoyed that.
Okay, moving on to this is
Hello, I'm Dr. Kapudaki Chanchala from Pakistan, your Miss Earth Pakistan 2023. I'm taking you in my childhood memory. It is marked by joy, encouragement, and support of my family. It's a story linked with dreams of my parents and the path that led me to become Miss Earth Pakistan 2023. In short, I grew up in a happy home. My parents were my guiding lights. They instilled in me value of education. But sorry, life is unpredictable. Tragedy struck when my mother fell victim to an autoimmune disease. I was shattered, but my father stood firm against all odds. He played the role of my mother as well. It got me confidence and courage to move on. I pursued my dream of becoming a doctor. This way, I made my parents proud and honored my mother's memory. As a child, I was talkative and outgoing. I easily mixed up with people. It was this social nature that led me to discover my passion for dancing and traveling. These hobbies became outlet for self-expression and a source of limitless joy. My father recognized my potential and I participated in Miss Pakistan pageant. One fine morning, I discovered I was Miss Pakistan Universal 2023. It was the opening and I never looked back. Today, as Miss Earth Pakistan 2023, I continue to use my voice and patience to connect with people worldwide, fostering friendship and unity. Thank you for your interest in my journey.
Bye, Shapa.
I thought the sponsor message on the bottom was a bit distracting. I think it came like 3 or 4 times. I understand you got to do what you got to do, but I found that a little bit distracting. And she's got a really impactful story, right? That's a really powerful story. But on the other hand, I didn't hear anything really, at least as I can remember, about the country itself. And again, Pakistan is not a country I know much about, so I would love to have learned more about the country, the people, the culture, the food, anything of that. So I think she's got a great story, but I would have liked to have heard a little bit more about maybe the country or her advocacy itself. Doctor, that's the first doctor. We had 2 med students already, so that's amazing. But Casey, yeah, to you.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with her being a doctor. I really appreciate hearing a little bit of the background of, her mom's story and the family story and how supportive her father was. I do think a little bit more about the Earth platform was
Mm.
needed in that. The other thing I did notice was she would look off to the side as you could tell she was reading something. So I think definitely working on just the memorization of what you want to say before you say it and kind of saying it from the heart. I could tell at
Yeah.
the part where she started to speak on her mom, it seemed very over inflicted instead of just like
Yeah.
a from the heart. And I mean, it is such a moving story, but I do wish to hear more a little bit about why Earth, why are you here, why this system. We did get a little bit of glimpse of her pageant winning Pakistan Universal.
Mm.
But I get like not looking back after that. Now she's Miss Earth, but it was how did you get from that to here? That was like the next step we wanted to hear a
Yeah.
little bit more about. But so I hope to hear more from her and more about her in the future.
In general, how do you feel about people using teleprompters? Would you write for a video like this when it's maybe a couple of minutes long, understanding that not everyone, maybe English is not their first language, but in general, teleprompters, yay or nay?
I'd say nay. I feel like for something so short and with being in pageantry, I've been doing this since age 5. It's quick and easy for me to talk on my feet.
Yeah.
And so I think at this stage in the game, you should
Yeah.
be able to easily talk right off the bat, talk about what you're passionate about, because you should just have like in your brain those mental bullet points of I want to hit who I am, why I'm here, and what I really want to get across as my message. Like you should be able to easily hit those. So I'd say nay on it. I'm all for a camera crew helping you make a good
Oh, yeah.
quality video,
Yeah.
but, when it comes to teleprompters or written down, I'd say no. I feel like at this stage in the game, you gotta be able to be quick on your feet, be able to talk. Because I mean, you're gonna be put in front of thousands of hundreds of thousands of people
Mm.
to talk as the Miss Earth in any scenario, any situation, you gotta be able to
Yeah.
speak on your feet. That's the big thing you have to think about is thinking bigger rather than in the right now.
Yeah. That's very true. How many? You started at the age of 5, so how many years experience in pageantry is that?
I retired after 19 years.
Why didn't you just go for 20? Why did you stop at 19?
I don't know. I didn't think about it. I was stopping at the 18th year, and then the 18th year happened to roll into the 19th year. So
Right.
here we are. I should have gone for 20, but I'm done. I will not be competing anymore.
I did put up a post saying that I don't believe anyone when they say that, but I think with you, I think I believe you a little bit more than I believe most. There's a finality to the way you said that. I'm done. It's
I'm
like,
done.
okay.
I've concluded my residency of being here.
I think everyone who's done pageantry will understand exactly the point that you're at. At a certain point, it's just like, nope, done, moving on. And I think that's a good thing, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to Paraguay or Paraguay.
Soy Greta Mateo, Miss Tierra Paraguay 2023. Desde muy temprana edad sentí una fascinación por la naturaleza y la moda. Mi amor por los animales y el llamado a cuidarlos y respetarlos nació desde muy temprana edad cuando íbamos de vacaciones al campo.
Cuando cumplí 7 años en la materia vida social y trabajo, nos enseñaron la importancia de clasificar la basura y también de evitar el uso del plástico. A partir de allí.
Okay, I'm just going to skip forward to see if any of it's in English because otherwise I don't really feel that I'll be able to pass much judgment other than on the footage. Just give me a second.
Le decía que hoy en día toda mi familia usa bolsas de tela.
Además, me encanta cantar, actuar y bailar. Desde muy pequeña sentí un llamado hacia el artístico, involucrándome en actividades extracurriculares como el playback del colegio, cantando.
You don't happen to be able to translate this, do you?
I can hear, I heard when she was a certain age, I didn't hear what the number was. I heard that she really liked being something, but that was about it. That's all I got.
We'll
Yeah, so
watch the rest
maybe-
of the footage. But
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll recap after we watch the rest of the footage. Yep.
En reuniones familiares. Fue ahí cuando aprendí a tocar el piano y la guitarra. Sigo cantando y me encantaría utilizar esta plataforma para mostrarles esa faceta de mí.
Tanto así que llegué a grabar mi primera canción titulada Bonita.
Llama que llama, esperando que me dé la gana.
Desde adolescente incursioné en el mundo del periodismo, participando de cursos de periodismo joven en ABC Color. Fue ahí cuando nació también mi pasión por transmitir mensajes que tengan un impacto en la sociedad. Asimismo, como modelo de alta costura, tuve la oportunidad de participar en eventos nacionales e internacionales, como la Semana de la Moda en Asunción, el Fashion Week de Milán, el Fashion Week de Nueva York, y estas experiencias me han brindado una amplia perspectiva de cómo influye la moda en nuestra sociedad. En la actualidad, a mis 23 años, estoy finalizando mis estudios de economía en la Universidad Nacional de Asunción, lo cual me brindó una perspectiva amplia de cómo enfrentar y abordar los desafíos que enfrentamos a nivel país.
Well, I really wish I had understood. I was to say more of that. I didn't understand any of it, but I mean, the footage, it looked like she had a really interesting story to tell. I don't know if that was a misstep, because she looked like she had an interview with someone in the Philippines, so I would imagine she would have been speaking English. So Casey, do you have any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, so what I grabbed from it, a musician, a model. She advocates for, I couldn't figure out what the logo of the company was in the background. But I did like how she put in different interviews that she had where she was obviously talking about the Miss Earth platform in those interviews from the words I could grab from what she was speaking. But I do like that she threw in there, she walked in New York Fashion Week, she walked in Manila. So that's pretty cool that she could just throw that in there. So it does show that she does have different trades, not only was she doing what she did as I think she was an economics student, maybe is what her
I think I heard something like that. Yeah.
her thing was for that. And so it just shows that she does a lot of different things other than just schooling. So that was cool to see. Yeah, I do wish she may have just had English captions. I know that for everyone, that's not something that they could easily translate. But as someone that will be speaking in multiple different countries, I do think that it is nice to have some sort of edge going into a competition that is international to at least know like some sort of either it be English and Spanish or Spanish and, Thai or Vietnamese, whatever sort of Asian culture country that you're going into, that does help just at least to know the simple of like the hi, hellos, how are yous. Like I liked when France did it. She did, she
Bonjour.
said hello and she said hello and said what her name was. And so that's something you can easily click in here. And so I think definitely just knowing those key things will help going into these other countries. But I wish she would have had subtitles because I feel like she had a lot of good things to say. I just hate we couldn't hear everything. Good footage, though. I do appreciate her footage.
Well, I mean, the footage by itself, I thought told a pretty compelling story. And I don't want to say everyone should learn English because I'm not that sort of person. But it's just like if you're going to do, because Miss Earth will be held in English as far as I can tell. And so I'm imagining like the interviews and stuff will be done in English. So I think you have to, if you can, try to do it in English or, as you said, subtitles, because otherwise I think it's a bit of a missed opportunity. If you don't know English, you don't know English. I have no hate for you, probably know more languages than I ever will, but just at least some captions so the English portion of the audience could understand it. I think that would have been a good call. Okay, we've got a few more, 5 more to go. Portugal.
My name is Carlota Lobo, and I proudly represent the Lusitanian nation, better known as Portugal. From the earliest days of my childhood, I've had a passion for communication, a love for learning, and the earnest desire to share knowledge. This journey through Miss Earth competition has amplified all these passions. I found myself communicating more profoundly, absorbing life's invaluable lessons, and imparting the values that resonate deep within my soul. My childhood was filled with happiness and joy. However, my adolescence was marked by difficult times, when doubt overcame our confidence, leading me to struggle with a common but often misunderstood illness, depression and anxiety. Learning to deal with our thoughts and emotions is not an easy task, especially for a teenager. Through this turbulent experience, I've learned to value small gestures, to find strength in adversity, and to realize that if you don't believe in yourself, it's highly unlikely that others will. Thankfully, I took the brave step of freeing myself from the clutches of depression, transforming myself from an insecure and anxious teenager into the young woman standing before you today. At just 18 years old, I'm so excited to represent my beloved country in Miss Earth 2023. I now strongly believe that nothing is impossible, and luck is a product of hard work and self-confidence. I consider myself a woman of strength and capability. My passion for travel has allowed me to explore different corners of the world, fundamentally shaping my view of the world. These journeys have forced me out of my comfort zone, enriching my understanding of human connections and fostering tolerance, sympathy, and thoughtfulness. I have an unwavering passion for nature, which fits perfectly with the principles of Miss Earth. My mission as a title holder is centered on showcasing my homeland, the Alentejo region, and preserving the exquisite beauty of the Montado Alentejano. I'm deeply dedicated to inspire change, giving a voice to the silent trees and setting an example of sustainable practices. I imagine a world where the beauty of nature is valued and preserved for future generations. If I am crowned Miss Earth 2023, I will even more powerfully use this platform to raise awareness about the vital role of the trees in sustaining life, advocate for sustainable practice, and collaborate with organizations in reforestation efforts around the world. Today and in the future, I maintain true to my mission, to inspire, empower, learn, and teach. My dream has always been to make the world a better place. I am confident that young Carlota will be proud of the woman she has become. I am a beauty for a cause.
Casey?
As someone who walked all of Portugal this summer, I am so sad that you didn't see more. It was definitely she was at like a hotel or some sort of stay vacationing place, and that she didn't show the true culture. I actually just released a book on Amazon that Adrian helped with, showing the different flowers along Portugal and Spain as I walk the Camino, and I think that's something that she should have definitely hit on because it's such a big thing that people travel all over the world to come to Portugal and Spain to walk, and I hate that that wasn't even included. I'm so sad about it because the amount of pictures I could show, and I'm not even a native of Portugal, there was so much more to give there that she didn't give, and I'm so sad because she's so beautiful, so young, so accomplished, and she could have given more, and I really hope that in her next few videos that they have coming out for the Earth Delegates that she gives more because I was waiting on pins and needles, especially for Portugal and Spain. I had high hopes because I just know I've seen the country this year, and literally in May and June I walked the countries, and so I was really sad because the footage that she showed, I'm like, where are the vineyards? Where are like the big areas that
Yeah.
people don't see? It almost looked like she was in, the jungles of Africa, going in between the trees and the dry lands, and there were definitely dry lands and wetlands, but just the wine country, the cities. I was so shocked because a lot of their cities did remind me of almost downtown Paris. Like it was tight cities, New York, fast car type of vibe. But once you
Wow.
moved into the outskirts of Portugal, going into Spain, it was just beautiful vineyards. And so I'm so sad that she didn't show that. I'm like actually upset about this, but I really do like the at the end logo that is still on the screen where you can see all of her different sponsors. I don't mind doing it that way. I think that's a great way to make sure that you thank those who have helped you get where you are today. So I do appreciate that, but really sad. I really have high hopes for her. She's beautiful and very well spoken.
For an 18-year-old. That's when she
For
said
an
she's 18. Like,
18,
really?
yes.
And that's probably English is probably not first language again at a guess. So like to speak that well at the age of 18. But I agree with everything you said. I thought it might set you off that there was no footage because you just returned from that country. What do you think about the balance though between because I don't think you need to. It's not mutually exclusive. Like telling your story and then telling about the country. I don't think it's mutually exclusive because I think some of the favorites, like if I take you back to the Netherlands video, which for me is probably still my favorite, the Dutch girl.
Yes.
I think she did both. So I think in a couple of minutes video, yes, it's short, but I think you can do both, right? You don't need to choose between my story or the story of the country.
No, and I think that in everyone, you have some sort of cultural tie to where you're from. So,
Yeah.
I mean, just being from America, it's a big deal to be from the USA, and some people forget that are from the USA, but I know as if I were to be competing internationally, I want to show the amazing wonders that the USA has to offer and what they've offered me. And so sometimes you just in all different countries, people may not feel the same. I just know for us in the US, it's a huge deal, but there was so much more to show. It makes me
It's
so
still
upset,
setting
but
you off.
I'm so upset, but yeah, definitely the ones so far that we've liked did a really good balance of who I am in my culture, and then what my culture is.
Yeah.
It was a good balance of all three. Yeah, that I really appreciated. But to be 18, so well spoken, I was a little nervous on those cobblestones at the end in the black gown or the black cocktail. I was staring at her feet. I'm like, please do not break an ankle.
Twisted
I know
ankles.
she's not going to break an ankle.
Probably wouldn't have been on the video. She had twisted an ankle.
No, it would have done a flash.
Your favorite transition. What's the name of your book? Might as well give it a plug since we're here.
Yeah, it's called a Walk of the Flowers along the Camino Portuguese, and so I did the Portuguese route, and it's so amazing. That's what I'll definitely put it. We'll put it somewhere in the comment section of this on Amazon, where it is a
Yeah.
coffee table book. So it's I think about 90 pages of just flowers along the way, which is the Camino, the way. So yeah, it was awesome. It was such a great trip mentally, physically, and spiritually. And so I hate that she didn't touch on it. I'm still so upset about it.
It's really setting you off, isn't it? It's triggered
It
you.
is. I'm like, oh gosh, go ahead to Puerto Rico because I'm so upset about this.
Well, we've got Spain coming up, so hopefully you said you wanted to see more about Spain, so hopefully Spain can rectify the situation.
Come on, Spain.
Right, but before Spain, we've got Puerto Rico. So we've got Puerto Rico, Slovenia, Spain, and Thailand to go. So here's Puerto Rico.
Hello everyone, I'm Victoria Rocho, Miss Earth, Puerto Rico 2023. I was born in Ponce, Puerto Rico on the 7th of June of 2002. During my childhood, I was always surrounded with adults since I did not have any siblings. And I feel like this may be grown up at an early age. After my parents' divorce, I moved to Caguas, Puerto Rico with my mother, and there I started the fields of sports, doing volleyball, cheerleading, tennis, and dancing, among other skills that gave me the determination, security, responsibility, and especially the teamwork. The world of beauty has always caught my attention. I talked to my mother when I was little about that, and that's when she decided to put me in some modeling classes. Taking the first classes was when a great passion for being a model awoke in me and wanted me to be the image to project what designers and campaigns were looking for to market their products. My career as a model began at a very young age, giving me the opportunity to be in local and international fashion shows, campaigns, editorials, and this developed in the sense of the integrity and integration of learning to have a good attitude during long days of work, to be natural and not be afraid to be myself. However, at 15 years old, I suffered one of the greatest challenges in life, going through the process of gender violence in a 3-year relationship. In this process, I lost security and the confidence in myself, in what I wanted with my life. However, in the same process was even stronger because very important people in my life for me died, such as my grandfather and my uncle, who has barely 21 years old, the same age as me today. Until one day I took the courage and put an end to all of that suffering, physical and psychological abuse that I received from a person who used to say to me, I love you. And today I still do not understand how humans can say I love you to someone so easily and at the same time hurting you so much. This situation motivated me to resume with my connection with nature, to have a greater awareness and how to feel much of a healing there is in it for us. I knew that my life, my story, and my desire to succeed were the size of our land. And so I decided to look for a beauty pageant. And it was not only for the opportunity to expose the beauty. I was looking more for the opportunity to expose my strength, my love, my driving force, and that desire to serve and promote an important cause. And what a better than Miss Earth. And that's why I entered and to participate in Miss Earth Puerto Rico. It was always my desire to participate in a pageant, but knowing the social cause and the message of Miss Earth was even more motivating, and so I began to study on the subjects on how to take care of our earth, to respect it, to love it, and after all the damage that we have done to it, like the damage they did to me. And that's why I feel even more identified and connected with our Mother Earth, because like me, our Mother Earth continues to give us her life, her greenness, her colors every day. And beyond that, she shelters us as species, giving us everything we need. And I continue to grow, smiling and living with passion. There is no being more resilient than our Mother Earth. That's why I work every day to be that spokesperson that educates people and unites in a single message of encouragement that the solution is in our hands. That's why my advocacy aims to inspire and transform, because through our stories, we inspire and transform people. Miss Earth, transforming. Today, I'm a woman more aware of environmental situations, of how to manage them and to support a better quality of sustainable life, respecting our land. And if I could do it, others can do it too, and there will be more of us. That's why I want to inspire and transform, so that can become more. Victoria Rocho, and I'm a woman of the earth.
Hello.
I love her look, but I'm sure that's about 3 times as long as any other video that we've seen. And I know that Miss Earth gives guidelines as to how long the videos are supposed to be. Did that strike you at all? That felt a lot longer than any of the other videos that we've seen.
It did. It did feel a lot longer. The things that really kind of stuck out to me from that, one, I loved her dress. Let's
I
just
do,
start with
yeah.
that. I love the dress and I liked the couch. It almost felt comforting, like welcoming chit chat that she gave.
Mm,
And I also like that she wasn't dead on to the camera, that she was
at an
pivoted.
angle. Yeah.
That was really good, just body language movement. I appreciated her story. I liked hearing it, but I do think that the video was a lot longer than everyone else's. And I think
Mm,
that it was the right amount of extra videos along with the right amount of her video, you know what I'm saying? Where it was like the good
yeah.
combination.
Yeah.
But I also loved her showing the story of her parents, the story of her becoming a model and what that looked like and how that she understands brand representation and how to actually sell the product you're trying to give. I know that's something Adrian, you and I always talk about is like what are they really trying to get off with this product or
Mm,
show off with even in pageantry what that looks like. And so I think she understands that aspect, which is really hard sometimes, that even some owners don't know what they actually
yeah.
want for their pageant system. And
Yeah.
so I think that's a nice thing to have in a queen that I've never really thought about, that I really appreciated. But I do think the video was like 3 times as long as everyone else's. But if we could have cut out a couple of the end clips, and I think I would've been A-okay
Yeah.
with it. I'm not sure what their time count was on that, but it was a little bit long. But I did
Yeah.
appreciate, her message, and I thought she was stunning, and to be 21 and so well spoken.
Yeah, the look, the dress, I think she's definitely got the look, and then I do like how she showed the footage of her walking on different catwalks because I think that shows, a lot of authenticity and
Mhm.
shows, as you said, branding. And that's a good point. Like if you are that aware of branding, then you can represent a system well. I just think that if she went over the limit, and I don't know what the limits were, but I feel that if the limits were longer, the other videos we watched would have also been longer. And I think it's probably unfair if she has gone over the limit. There probably should be some sort of deduction for that. I hate to be that person, but I kind of thought it was a bit too much because I think she started on the modeling, then she went into her story, and I was like, okay, cool. But then it went on like for twice as long after that, so it kind of lost me because I wasn't sure at the end of the day what to take away I'm supposed to take from this. And I don't think she talked much about the country either. That's that balance we were talking about. So
Yeah.
I love her look. I think it was a good video. I just think it was a bit long and probably could have been, about half as long. It would have been more effective. Okay, Slovenia.
My name is Monica Čavlović, and I'm delegated to have the opportunity to tell you a bit about myself. I was born and raised in a town called Nova Gorica in Slovenia, and I have spent a significant portion of my life in this wonderful place. I'm passionate about dancing, fitness, drawing and painting, traveling and spending time with my friends, which have been a significant part of my life for as long as I can remember. Professionally, I have a background in medical care as a nurse, and I'm currently working towards psychosocial assistance, and at the same time, I'm working as a model and in administration office at the Institute of Health and Insurance. It is an absolute honor and privilege to stand before you today as a delegate representing my beloved country in this prestigious beauty pageant. In every step I take, in every smile I share, and in every word I speak, I aim to carry the spirit of my nation with grace and affection.
That's a sudden cut. What did you think about Slovenia?
I didn't really see her, and so in the beginning of the video, I was like, "Who is Slovenia?" All I saw was about this much of her face, the crown, and the sash. I wish we could have seen more of her. I heard her
Mm,
story. I got to look at what looked like ping pong tables or maybe table tennis was in Slovenia, but I didn't get who she was at all. I missed a visual. I'm a visual person, so I have to see you to understand you, and I didn't get that, so I was a
yeah.
little sad. If I would've seen her, I feel like I would've had a better judge on that. It's almost like I couldn't understand the language, I couldn't see you, so I can't really give you
Yeah.
a good
Yeah.
scoring on
I,
that.
I think the overall thing to remember is that people have really short attention spans, particularly in this day and age. And if you don't grab them in the first 5 seconds with a visual, I mean, it's a video. So, of course, the audio is there as well, but the visual, you need something that's stunning and grabbing. And normally with girls that look like this, just show your face, show the eyes, show you, and then hopefully you can grab people. I did like the fact that she was showing footage from her childhood, but I felt like it cut between the two a bit too much. It almost like, let's splice our pageant intro video with footage of me as a kid, and just kept going back between the two. I thought like, show me something else. And again, I felt like I didn't learn anything about the country, like
No.
Slovenia. So a little bit sad about that. Hopefully we'll learn out more about these countries as we move on. Okay. Are you ready? It's Spain. So just in case there's no
Spain.
footage of the country, we don't want you triggered again. Okay. So if you see Casey like smashing vases or something in the background, it's because Spain didn't show any footage of Spain. But let's hope. Let's find out.
I'm Adrian Fernandez. I'm 21 years old and I live in Alicante. It's a charming city with unfold smiling and bright facing the sea. It's located in a beautiful environment. In the same city, we can find wonderful sandy beaches and a well-kept and beautiful urban area. For more than 10 years, I have woken up and prepared every day to train. That has allowed me to become a high-performance athlete and be able to compete at a national level. In addition to going for 5 consecutive years with the Valencian team. It's a sport that I enjoy a lot and very special because it unites me a lot with my father since I started thanks to him. I consider myself a very close and familiar person who loves to spend time with loved ones. I'm very cheerful and I love making people laugh. I'm very constant, hardworking, resilient and disciplined. I have a great responsibility to represent my country. It's a word that I was completely unaware of. I affirm that a queen is not just a crown and a sash, but she's much more than that. I'm very happy to represent all of you. I'm Miss Earth Spain 2023.
Okay, are you still breathing?
I loved
There was
it.
some footage.
I
Yeah.
loved it. I did at the beginning. She started with it. I started smiling, like, yes, this is perfect because it's just such a good representation and also showed who she was. So I appreciate that. I could tell if it was pickleball or if it was tennis. That I had never seen a
Pickleball.
tennis. It was pickleball.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
that's what I was.
I got set off by that because I was all hopeful. That's a tennis racket bag, and then it turned out to be pickleball. And like, pickleball. But anyway.
That's the new rave in the US. I don't know where
Yeah.
it came from, but out of nowhere, all of a sudden, it was pickleball everything. But I liked getting to know her and seeing that she's a driven person. She gets up early. I thought that was so funny that she added that in there. But
Yeah.
along with being a pageant queen, I like how she said, "I'm here to serve you." That was a good little touch that she threw in there at the beginning or at the very end of the video. But I loved it. I think that one's definitely like top 3 for me. I really liked that video. So I think she did fantastic in showing her passion and nursing. There's a lot of nurses, a lot of medical field in this group of people that we've been looking at today.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I really liked the fact when she showed the alarm and then waking up out of bed, it's like telling that story rather than just saying, here's everything about me in a bullet point list. And then you're just sort of overwhelmed by it. But obviously when she did that, she probably didn't have much makeup on as well. So I appreciate that, she was willing to do that. And then, got some footage of the country and then it looked spectacular. Did you see anything like that when you were in Spain? I mean, that made me want to go to Spain. So if that's like the outcome that you should have from a Miss Earth video, it certainly worked on that level because I looked at that, it's like, wow, that looks stunning.
Yeah, it showed a great representation of what you see. It's just that old rich culture. It was a beautiful country, and I'm so glad that you could actually see it from Spain. Portugal, I'm still mad at you that you did not show the country.
Well, lucky last, Thailand.
Hello, my name's Cora Hope Leo. I'm 18 years old, and I'm this year's Miss Earth Thailand 2023. Growing up, my family, like many others, faced countless of struggles. We experienced our fair shares of family fights as the stress of our circumstances often get the better of us. But yet, in the midst of adversity, we discover a bond that could not be broken. The love and support that flows within the walls of our home became the bedrock of my strength, teaching me resilience and the value of unity. My father was a hardworking provider for our family, with my mother's unwavering support, while my brother brought laughter, and my sister always inspires with her achievements. And I'm a sports enthusiast with a strong, outspoken mindset who loves the outdoors. I guess my love and appreciation for nature came from my family, who shares a deep love for the outdoors activities, often gathering in friendly sport matches, picnics in scenic parks, and exciting hikes. We bond over the thrills of camping adventures and the tranquility of exploring beautiful waterfalls together. Recognizing the devastating impact of pollution and human-generated waste on our planet, my family and I decided to minimize our environmental footprints by actively practicing recycling, renewing, and reusing resources. I was taught from a young age that our trash was our responsibility, and Mother Earth should not be the one who suffers the consequences. I've joined Miss Earth seeking an opportunity to represent my countries and right the wrongs that we have been doing to our planet. With my family supporting me 100%, I felt as ready as I could ever be. When I was crowned, I felt stunned and overwhelmed with emotion. But seeing my mother and sister crying and screaming with joy made it all the more incredible. Thank you to Miss Earth Thailand organization for crowning me as this year's Miss Earth Thailand 2023. Miss Earth symbolized not just beauty, but grace, resilience, and power to inspire. My responsibility of representing my nation on a global stage fills me with a mere pride in humanity, and have never been as ready to join Miss Earth as today.
Okay, well, do you want to take it away on our last one for today anyway?
That she is going to be such tough competition. Like, I'm speechless after seeing that video. Yep, like easy top 5 for me. She is going to be stiff competition when it comes to that on-stage portion. She's very well spoken, clearly speaks very clear English, so I can only imagine how many other languages that she can speak. I think the video was well put together, a very good production. I really liked how it was like the old-timey film camera
Yeah.
that went across the screen. I thought that was such a cool, interesting touch. It wasn't too distracting. I just really liked it. It was a really good, well put together production. It was a very good production video, and I liked all the ones that had the crowning. They had like their
Yeah.
actual crowning moment. Of course, being crowning moment podcast, I love to see the crowning moment. I just think it's a nice little touch to show, where you've come from and where you're going. And so I really appreciate that. I think she's going to be a really tough competition when it comes to the stage, though. That one, I think she's going to do really well.
Well, so we are at the end of today. I'm struggling to speak. I feel like I haven't woken up yet, had too much coffee and not enough sleep. That was 22 videos. Do you have a top 3? I'm just looking at my scores. I'm still
I
going back to the
do.
Netherlands. I'm going back to the Netherlands, Spain,
Mhm.
and then maybe that last one there, Thailand.
Those are my top 3 on my list. I really enjoyed those, and I think some close ones, to put
Canada.
even Yep, Canada, and I really liked Puerto Rico, and let's see what else we got on here, and I liked Argentina too. That was another one I really liked.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
definitely top 3, that Netherlands, Spain, and Thailand were very, very
Yeah.
strong.
I feel like now that we know more what to expect, I want to go back and maybe just watch a couple of the earlier ones, just to make sure that I've applied the same sort of scoring criteria throughout all of them. Just because by the time you get to number 50, you're probably thinking something other than what you were thinking at number 1.
Oh, yeah.
And I need to go and have some lunch so I can concentrate, because I'm now getting hungry and my attention span is waning. But Casey, thank you so much for coming on. I don't know if you'll be around for the other ones. Obviously, we've got a whole bunch of reaction videos to do, which I don't want to say like I'm ungrateful for. I think it's an amazing opportunity, and I do appreciate that someone has trusted us enough to actually judge a pageant. But yeah, we've got a few more to do. We've got another 3 days, I believe, of the introductions, and then there are some eco initiatives, and I think there's a tree video potentially as well, which will be interesting. I don't know how you could do a whole video about a tree, but I'm going to be interested to find out. So
I feel like it's definitely going to be a science lesson that we may not be ready for, but we are going to get. So yeah, I'm super excited, and we'll definitely be doing some more reactions for all of these ones in the next coming days. And I'm super excited that we could team up and do it together. This is a huge opportunity. So I really thank the Miss Earth and Miss Earth USA group for putting this together.
Perfect. Okay. Well, I'm going to hit end stream. I won't do any fancy conclusions or anything like that as per usual. Thanks again to Casey for her time, and to Laura for Laura Clark, Director of Miss Earth USA, for putting our names forward. But you guys take care, and we will see you perhaps tomorrow. We'll work it out, and then we'll post on our Instagrams. Casey, as you can see, at Crowning Moment Podcast. So thanks for watching. If you want to let us know your favorites and whether you agree with our opinions or radically disagree with them, let us know below, and then we can argue about it after I've had lunch. But thanks so much for watching, and we will speak to you next time. Bye for now.